I do want to continue this work, but just because I want it is no reason for you to reappoint me. So let me just, in a few sentences, tell you what I think I can bring to this work and continue to bring with it. That is, obviously, after the years that I've been here, I can bring some experience. I can bring some times that I've gone through where we've had to navigate through a variety of complex situations. And so I bring that experience. I also bring the experience of actually doing the work. I don't sit on high and manage the office of the Legislative Auditor. I get down and do the work. And that's the way, at least I think, I need to be as Legislative Auditor.
I am concerned about the level of what I would sometimes call editorializing in the way the reports are done, especially these reports that are in response to something that's been in the headlines. Because sometimes, very frankly, it feels to me as though you're playing for headlines. And you know, it's one thing to respond to the press, and the press, we as elected representatives and senators, we get calls from the press and they say, what do you think about this? Here's some information, and what do you think about it? And I've certainly been asked many times about something I never heard of before. And so we understand what that means, and that you have to be very careful, and sometimes you say, well, if the facts are as you say, then I would be very concerned about it, because as we know, it doesn't always turn out to be what it appears at the beginning. But I just am concerned about what I see as a little bit of, for lack of a better term, mission creep in the way these things are being presented. And I feel like I'm seeing it more in recent times than I used to, or at least maybe I didn't notice it as much when I was less involved in it. But I really believe that the usefulness of the work of the staff is diminished by value judgments that are put into the reports that I believe are not the place of the office to make.
Absolutely. You, in several recent reports, have seen judgments by the Legislative Auditor's Office about the conditions that we found. We could avoid that. I could have not called the situation that created the problem of the overpayments for Suboxone to the 2 tribes. I didn't have to say that was dysfunction. But as we interviewed person after person after person who works at the Department of Human Services, and when I heard people who were 15-year veterans of that department at very high levels in management say, I cannot stand to work here anymore, this place is dysfunctional, I am leaving. Would you please call this out in your audit so that something will be done, so that the administration and the legislature will say, this wasn't just a mistake, this is dysfunction, this is systemic dysfunction in this department. Those were the words that the people who work there, day in and day out, used. Did I have to repeat them? No. And so if it is the judgment of the Legislative Audit Commission that I should not make those kinds of judgments and categorizations, I'll just let the facts speak for themselves. I think the facts spoke to dysfunction, and that's what I called it. But I didn't have to, and it wasn't seeking a headline. It was seeking your attention to this issue so that you and your committee, Representative Liebling, and the Senate committees would dig deep into the problems at DHS, and that the administration would maybe finally pay attention to them. Because sometimes, you know, with all due respect, the tepid language of an audit doesn't necessarily get the attention. I think I can find you year in and year out reports we've issued about problems at DHS and that didn't call it dysfunction and didn't get attention. I'm not looking for attention from the media. I'm looking for attention from you.
I appreciate the work that you've done, Mr. Nobles. I think the one thing that I took away from our last meeting was you are highly qualified. I think your staff and the operation of the organization reflects the tone in which you've set. But it goes much deeper than that. And I think you covered almost 3 or 4 minutes of the things you have to do to live in your personal life to maintain the nonpartisan nature and to remove the opportunity in this very partisan world to be attacked, to be perceived as being biased in any way, shape, and form. That affects you and your family and your personal life that I don't think most people understand. And I think that reflects and continues to build the trust for us that you're doing the job that we expect.